Hi, I'm Nancy Rolfe. I'm founder of Govabuse. Govabuse is the largest children and family rights organization in the nation. You can go to govabuse.com to sign up and check out any information that may be helpful to you. We also have a blog at blog.govabuse.com. Additionally, there are Facebook pages for Govabuse in every state, like Govabuse, Ohio, Govabuse, Michigan, Govabuse, California, where you can hook up easily with your advocates. A few things I wanted to come and say today. I'm on Silent Voices with Dennis Lawrence. One of the things Govabuse does is we run protests. Our next protest will be October 3rd, 2014. It'll be nationwide, every state, every county. We need PLCs, protest location coordinators, in every state. So please go to the website and sign up, because anywhere somebody does not volunteer to be a protest location coordinator, we will not run a protest. Someone has to be there to make sure everybody's safe and rules are followed so nobody gets arrested. Now, for protests, a couple good ideas for signs. It's very important. The less words, the better. Like this one, stop child abuse for profit. It's only a couple words. So when the people are driving by on the road fast, they don't have time to see a lot of words. So, any that have less words, you can see better when you're driving down the road. Where something like this one, it's very wordy, no one is going to be able to read it. The most important thing when you're doing your signs is to make sure you have the words Govabuse. So even though they're driving by, and even the people that are walking by, maybe you can stop, talk to them, give them information, stuff like that. But if they're driving by, at least if it has Govabuse or govabuse.com on it, both would be better, then people can go and know where to get the information and know and find out where to hook up with others in their area, because most people think they're alone in this. This would be the example of a horrible sign. Although it's cute, it has little words, mother, family, father, sister. It's kind of cutesy. The only good thing about this sign is it says Govabuse in bold letters. But this is not something you'd want to use for a protest. Now, any kind of sign is better for protesting than for not protesting. Showing up is the key. Now, at the last minute, I didn't do this one, someone else did, has Govabuse on it, but they didn't have enough time to finish the sign before the protest, so they took a bunch of the Govabuse flyers, which we hand out a couple months before the event. You can find out where to get the flyers, very cheap. We do not sell them. We don't make a dime on them. You order them straight from the company that we get them from. And this year, the Jack Princes, where we get them from, they are not charging for shipping. Yay, so that'll save everybody a lot of money. So at the last second, they took the flyers and just stuck them on. That's a good idea for a last second thing, just so you have something. Now, a couple of the issues that we have in the family rights, we'll say like for the judges. One of the issues we have is for the judges, the assigned judges. People in most of their cases do not know, 99% of the people do not know whether the judge in their case is a voted-in judge or an assigned judge. And this is important for why your cases are getting messed up. One, assigned judges are only part-time judges. Like in Ohio, where I'm from, Cleveland, Ohio, they're called visiting judges. It's a part-time position. How you get to be an assigned judge is that you have to leave the bench in good standing, which means don't get voted out. Don't get removed by the Supreme Court. But once the judge they'll retire early. They're collecting their retirement, and then a few months later, they get assigned, and they are getting day pay, like over $485 a day pay. That number is not accurate today, so I don't know what it is, but it's pretty high. That's an old number I had. Now, the reason why is the visiting judges, assigned judges, are harmful to your case is that the ex parte court orders, which is a court order that is only heard by one side. People file for emergency ex parte, custody, alleging abuse against the other parent. Now, any judge, whether assigned or not, has to hear that motion immediately. So they can't get a hold of the other side. So the smarter lawyers, they'll file on a Friday morning when they know that the assigned judge will be leaving to go out of the county or wherever they go when they're not around. They won't be back for a couple weeks. That has to be heard. That is going to be granted. The court never puts it off, until to make sure that the other side, gets heard. Somebody snatches up the kid, boom, has it signed. And then it's just a matter of filing for continuances. And then it changes the whole ball game, because instead of, the best interest, it goes from best interest to the other one, where the child's now bonded into a new school district, all happy and comfortable. Now they don't want to do change of circumstances. So it changes the weight of whatever you're fighting as well. So, one of the important things to the taxpayers and to our cases, everyone's family court cases, is to have the assigned judges abolished. It's also against our constitutional rights, because we have a right to have judges voted in that we want. And the assigned judges, once they're on, they're not voted in, so you can't get rid of them. So they have no vested interest in making sure that anything is going right. They're going to get paid no matter what happens. And you have to watch out for on your motions. A lot of times you'll get copies and you'll say, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. We weren't in court that day. But the journal entry will say, on this day, had a hearing. So it'll even go so far to say, so-and-so was here. I've seen this in many states when they weren't even in court that day. But that just helps the judges prove that they were actually, on guard, so they can charge because they get the day pay. So if you see weird orders like that, call us right away. We can't stop the judges from getting paid for that day, but at least we can bring it to the attention of the Supreme Court. So, we have enough complaints about the same judges, then maybe we can do something, even though we're trying to abolish the entire visiting judges thing, assigned judges thing. Another problem is guardian ad litem fees. The guardian ad litem is supposed to be appointed in neglect and abuse cases, and sometimes they're appointed to a case, by the judge, just if the court sees there's too many problems, or even one of the parties, the mother, father, whatever, think there's a need for it, and then they'll squabble that way. But here's where the problem comes in. The court guardian ad litem, if it's a private case and not one of the state-paid cases, it doesn't work in that either way. But the fees are high. There is a cap on guardian ad litem fees, a financial cap. Now it's supposed to be, they say it's $1,000. I hear everyone say, like in Cuyahoga County, that it's supposed to be like $1,000, even though I read it was $500 for this, $200 for that, etc. But the bottom line is, once the fees hit $1,000, then the guardian ad litem is supposed to file an affidavit giving some special circumstances why they should be awarded higher guardian ad litem fees. And the judge always grants it, always. So once they have to file the first one for extra fees, it's a free-for-all. In my case alone, guardian ad litem fees were over $129,000. My case, one child, one case alone, over $129,000. So once they get that affidavit to charge more than $1,000, this is a free-for-all. And here's where the fun part is. And no parent can claim bankruptcy against guardian ad litem fees. Guardian ad litems never get removed. They might step down when the parents, cause enough havoc. I'm the only person. If anybody knows anyone else who has actually done what I've, please contact me immediately. Nancy Rolfe, R-O-L, like Larry, F like Frankie, like Edward. I had the guardian ad litem after a 3-month trial legally removed by the judge in my case. That's unheard of. We need this to happen more often. We need that at least a lot more monitored. I see sometimes, there is a need for a guardian ad litem, most often it is more harmful, because the guardian ad litem, we're going to go with the 99% again, 99% of the cases, this is a fact, the guardian ad litem, who the judge usually sides with, is supposed to write a report, the guardian ad litem. So they're supposed to just, the guardian ad litem was initially appointed to assist the backlog of cases. Well, it backfired because it's actually causing to extend the cases. They're only supposed to do an in-home visit, interview the parties, write a report to the court. That was their job. Now, that doesn't take $129,000. So now the judges have guardian ad litems supervising, visitation between the parents, and I mean, all these things, for what, over $100 an hour? I mean, it's ridiculous, and you can't get rid of these fees. It doesn't. Oh, if the guardian ad litem likes the mother better than the father doesn't have a chance in that case. And the way the guardian ad litems decide on who they're going to like better isn't in the best interest of the child. It isn't who might be the better parent. It doesn't matter if it's Father of the Year. If the mother is making more money and she seems like she is more apt to pay the guardian ad litem fees without the guardian having to take her to civil court, he's going to say, guess what? Give that kid to mom, and come up with all kinds of excuses, lies, why this horrible, we're just using mom and dad as an example, just that in this case, why the other parent should get them, even though the other guy was like Father of the Year. So, I mean, as everything else, this is all about money. And fee bills, guardian ad litem fee bills. No one ever gets a copy of their itemized fee bill list. Ask for that, demand it, you're entitled to it. It's not a secret. They will try to keep it from you, but you fight to the death and contact someone from Govabuse if they're giving you a hard time on it. What else do we have? Perception and paranoia. I see people every day killing themselves legally because there's a difference between researching information for your case, which would be like going to findlaw.com and things like that, and finding the crossover laws. I mean, there's one way to research, and another way, which is absolutely harmful to your case, which to just to talk to advocates. Just because somebody's been in a case does not mean they know what the heck they're talking about. So then all of a sudden, they'll start watching Alex Jones, where half of the stuff Alex Jones says is phenomenal. It's great, it's on target, you can research it, and it's right on target. But the second half of the stuff Alex Jones does is completely harmful to everything you do, because he makes money off the fear factor. And as long as he can scare the living heck out of you into everybody's corrupt, every CPS worker, well, maybe they might just be, but what if they're not? The bottom line is, don't feed into the fear factor. There's evidence to every single good thing. There's evidence to every false allegation. You will find evidence to anything you are looking for. Alex Jones is only going to give you half of it, and he's going to give you the second half to make sure his ratings stay up because he wants a job. Kind of like a guy in Michigan by the name of John Langlois. John, I'm throwing you under the bus because you deserve it. You are taking money off of people because you need a job. You know what? You better find a new job because I'm coming after you. This guy, he has moms and dads in Michigan. This guy, he doesn't want anyone protest. Oh, he says there are 0 problems in Oakland County. If you live in Oakland County, I want you calling me if you think your case isn't perfect. If you think all the judges, guardians, psychologists, if everybody in your case is perfect, go to John Langlois. If they're not, I want you calling me personally. Nancy Rolfe. Ask me to be a friend on Facebook. I'll be on the phone with you in a minute and a half. But John Langlois says he's going to go out and he'll even take a microphone on the day we protest on October 3rd, 2014, because he doesn't want any protests there. He has a deal with them. The judge who just gave him custody is on the board, of whatever the heck he does. Wrong. You know what? This is not how it's done, You need a job, go to 7-Eleven. You're not going to do it on innocent families while I'm around. Okay, another thing that I see fathers across the country doing, I started exposing it in 2007, so I've seen a little bit less of it, but still too many fathers don't know about this. It's mothers too. but it's mainly the fathers who are out there protesting. Good for you, fathers. We want you. But the problem is that they'll go in front of the courts and say, the judge won't give me joint custody. And, you know, the judge is corrupt because he won't give me joint custody. It's not the judge. In most of the states, I don't know every single state law, but I know in the majority of states, the judge cannot order joint custody unless by agreement of the parties. So before you yell at the judge, please talk to your ex and say, will you agree to this? Because as of right now, until we get legislation changed in the various states, the judges should be able to order it, which is what we need to be fighting for. But until that happens, it forces the litigants, the parents, whoever, you know, into an all or nothing battle. And it's always going to be, under the system that it has right now, it is always going to be an all or nothing battle, because the person who gets custody also gets the checks. So they have to pay child support checks if you don't have custody. And if you're the one paying child support and you're in between jobs, you have some glitch, all of a sudden, you could, by the time you get another job and get this thing straightened out, you could end up being a felon, because that is felony punishable. And I know plenty of fathers, only one mother so far, who have actually gone to jail for this, for being behind on your child support. It takes absolutely nothing for this to happen. And I don't understand why, but when the families are in between jobs, I mean, everybody knows what's going on with the economy, that these judges are not lowering the child support amount, at least for the time that the person is in between jobs. I mean, they can even prove that they're looking for another job, showing resumes and stuff, and it doesn't seem to matter. But it forces the families into an all or nothing litigation. It's a fight to the finish, where families that may not have hated each other and been fighting to the finish, they have to, because unless you want to pay child support, you better have that kid. Okay, I also want to bring up grandparents' rights, is that when the children are being removed, and there is a system to this, the government is paying cash incentive dollars, $6,000 to $8,000 for every child that gets removed, who gets adopted out through the foster care system. So there are no incentive dollars for the children to go back home, but there are incentive dollars to keep them separated. Now the grandparents, even the grandparents could have great homes, absolutely nothing wrong, but it doesn't matter. They are not sending the children with their family members. They are keeping them, funneling them, hurting them through the foster care system. One thing you have to watch out for is that when you do have to pay support, and what they're doing in all the states is trying to strip you of your parental rights, even though there's no grounds for it, no matter whether you go to parenting classes, it doesn't matter. What they ask you to do, they are going to find some reason you're not doing it right. You need to do it again. If you went to parenting classes, paid for it on your own, they're going to make you do a whole other set of them. So no matter what you do, they're going to find some reason why it's not going to work. Because if they don't ship your kid out through the foster care system, they don't get the money. They got to keep those numbers up. One thing to watch out for is and this is over in the probate court, there's always a crossover in these courts, which is just dangerous, but this is the way it is for right now until we do something about it. That over in the probate court, even while a family court case is going on, over in the probate court, they could be trying to adopt your child out at the same time. You haven't even lost your parental rights yet. I mean, it's absolutely insane. So watch out for the crossovers. Make sure if you do not see your child, there's two things. If you don't see your child within a year from the time somebody else files to adopt your child, that's one ground. Another ground is, if you're not giving child support or, sending gifts and things like that. If you ever send a gift, make sure you do it by return, receipt, signature, mail. You've got to be able to prove to the probate court, because the other side is going to lie about getting that gift, even if the kid is playing with it while, they're talking to someone. They will lie about it because they're trying to, adopt your kid. One thing, you're not supposed to be able to relinquish your parental rights. This is actual laws. Now, you're not supposed to be able to relinquish your parental rights to get out of paying child support, but they'll strip you of your kid and still make you pay. So, there are so many crossovers. So, even while you're checking family court law and you think you have it down, if you are not checking the probate court laws, guess what? You're going to lose your kid anyway. But I hope any of this helped. And my name's Nancy Rolfe from Cleveland, Ohio, founder of Govabuse. Please go to govabuse.com and sign up on the website. And also go to the blog, blog.govabuse.com. And also the Govabuse radio show, which is on Talk Show with Dennis Lawrence and myself. And you can be listening to that on Saturday evening. So thank you for being here.